everyone, my name is Alexis Brooks and welcome to Eating Mindfully. Today I'll be discussing a topic that I'm sure that we all can relate to, and that's eating. The average person makes 200 food-related decisions every day. And actually many of these decisions we don't even realize that we're making. You probably thought maybe 30 or maybe 3, just breakfast, lunch, dinner, but there's many more than that. And so the remainder of those decisions we're making unconsciously throughout the day. And that can cause us to overeat, and over time, mindless eating can lead to unintentional weight gain and obesity. So we have to watch out for that. So today I'll be presenting on, I'll be showing you different food traps that you may fall into throughout the day. I'll show you how to avoid them, and then also how to take advantage of those and use them to your own benefit. And then lastly, we'll have an activity. I'll show you how to eat mindfully. So what is mindful eating? Well, it is being aware of what, when, how much, and where you're eating. So what, it could be anything that you're eating. When, noticing, actually being conscious that you are eating at the time. Sometimes we get distracted and we may not even realize that we're eating when we are. How much, keeping your portions the way they should be, not too much, not too little. So being aware of that. And then also where, whether it be choosing where to eat at a restaurant or the environment. So I want you guys to take about 10 seconds to just view all these pictures, these foods. Alrighty, so how many of you would say that you maybe felt your mouth water a little bit, or maybe your stomach kind of contracted a little bit? How many would you say? A very good amount of you. And how many of you ate shortly before you came here? That's when you have the same amount of people actually. So that's normal. That's a normal response that we have when we see food or when we smell it or even taste it. There's a reaction that happens in our mouths. We'll begin to salivate, and then our stomachs contract, and that works together. So the more that we salivate, the more our stomach contracts, and the more that we feel that we're hungry. So even though many of you had eaten before you came here, you still had a response to these pictures. And the food industry knows this. That's why they make their eyes look so nice, and the commercials look super delicious, because they know that we're affected by sight. So I'm going to explore a few food traps that we fall into on a regular basis, and how we can also take advantage of them. The first one is mindless margin, and that's a margin of 100 calories. We don't notice if we take in 100 calories more or 100 calories less. So this is one way, if a person is trying to lose weight, they could just take out 100 calories each day from their diet and they won't even notice it. Or this is also a way how people end up gaining weight without really knowing how or why. If you eat 100 calories more every day for a year, you'll gain 10 pounds. And if you eat 100 calories less every day for a year, you'll lose 10 pounds. But when you think about it, really 100 calories isn't that much. It could be a piece of candy, it could be a cup of milk, it could be those 100 calorie packs, maybe have one more extra every day. It's really not that much, so it's really easy to eat more or less than that amount. And the same goes for 20%. We don't notice if we eat 20% more or 20% less. So if you're used to eating until you're 100% full, you won't really notice if you start eating 80 until you're about 80% full. And the same goes, we can use this to our advantage. We can eat 20% more of foods that we should be eating, like fruits and vegetables, and it won't feel like a burden to us. It's just 20%. And the forgotten food. So there's an experiment that happened. It was in a restaurant. There's 2 different tables, groups of people. They're both given buffalo wings. One table had a person coming to bust the table constantly, so there's never a buildup of bones on the table. The other table, they didn't have anyone to bust the table. Guess who ate more? Yes, the people who had their tables bust, they ate more because they didn't have a visual cue of how much they were really eating. They actually ended up eating 28% more. And that's something to think about. When you have something that leaves a trace, you'll be less likely to eat more of that. So anything with bones or anything that has any sort of something that leaves it behind, you'll notice more. And your stomach has a really bad memory, so don't try to rely on your stomach. All right, and surveying the tablescape is another food trap that we fall into. A lot of people think that maybe if they pour something into a shorter glass, it's less, or then the taller glass is more. But people consistently pour more into a shorter glass than they would a tall glass. And there's another experiment done with bartenders. These are all bartenders who had bartended for 30 years or more, so they're very skilled, and they consistently poured 35% more into the smaller cup than they did the tall cup. And they actually were almost right on. It was almost perfect. They poured, they're asked to pour 1.5 ounces into the tall cup, and they poured 1.6 ounces, very close. But for the short cup, it was 2.1 ounces. So if they're not doing it right, and they're skilled in their profession, we don't really have too much hope for us. But so you can use that too. If you want to drink more of something, like more water, you can use a short cup. And then if you want to minimize drinking something else, you'll use a taller cup. There's also a hidden persuaders. And this is just basically saying that you'll be more likely to eat something if you see it, as we saw on the slides before you guys started to have a response just looking at the pictures. So for example, say you work somewhere where there's a candy dish all the time, you're more likely to get that just because, just the fact that it's there, whether or not you want it or you're hungry. So what you can do is to put away things that maybe you want to have more moderation. Put them away in cupboards where you can't see them, or if they're in the refrigerator, maybe cover them so you can't see them as readily. And then on the advantage of that is you could put out things that you should be eating, like fruits and vegetables. You can put that out there so you're more likely to eat those. And mindless eating scripts. There are times we feel that we just should be eating. A lot of times it could be watching TV. It just seems so natural to just watch TV and eat at the same time. But that's actually a distraction, and that can cause us to eat a lot more. Another distraction is being around people. We actually eat more when we're around people. 35% more actually. With one person, it's 35% more, you'll eat that much more. And if you're with 7 or more people, you'll eat 96% more. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed that maybe if you're at parties or you're around a lot of people, you may just eat more. All right, so now I want to do an activity with you guys. You should all have chocolates at your tables. Go ahead and pick 2 for yourself.
So you want?
Yeah.
You want? Yeah, passing?
Okay, did you guys go in yet?
Oh, wait.
Not yet, though. Does everyone have 2 chocolates of their choice? Okay, so we're gonna eat the first one, and when you eat the first one, I want you to just eat it in one bite. It's really fast. Without choking. Are you allowed to chew it? Yeah, you should chew Okay, I'll just wait for you guys to finish that one up. Okay, you guys ready for your second chocolate? Still chewing? Alright, so for your second chocolate, I want you to take it much slower. I want you to take at least 3 bites from that chocolate. And try to swallow and chew, or swallow before each bite. Don't keep going, just take your time to chew each bite. Think about the flavor, the caramel, the chocolate.
Too good.
All right, so I want you guys, can anyone share with me the comparison between the two chocolates that you had? How it felt different and anything different about it? Can anyone share? Yes.
The first bite one, I just thought it was so much sweeter and like it's like overwhelming. I felt like when you just took a long bite. Like,
Interesting. Anyone else? Yes.
After the first one, I felt like I wanted more. And after the second one, I was a little bit more satisfied.
All right, anyone else?
I feel like I actually enjoyed the second one more. And I don't know, it's just psychological or what. It's not my favorite one though. I ate my favorite one first.
But you enjoyed the second one better.
I think I did because I was paying more attention to it because you made me.
Interesting, and that's what happens when you eat mindfully. You may even enjoy your food more because you're actually paying attention to what you're eating, and that's what you should try and practice in your everyday life. Hope you guys enjoyed that activity. And in conclusion, I just want to recap what we learned about. We learned about a few food traps that we may fall into, how we can make them work for us, and then how we can eat mindfully on an everyday basis. Are there any questions for me? Oh, one.
do you feel like you mindfully eat or try to? Or is that hard?
I feel like I have made it a habit to eat mindfully. I know there are still times where I probably don't. There's actually other ways, other food traps I didn't go over today, but I'll notice them when they come up, and sometimes I'll ignore them. But at least I know that I am ignoring them. All right, anyone else? Thank you.